There's another tornado brewing over there in the name of Inoue.
He just won.
That is a bad dude.
Roy Jones Jr. has declared Naoya Inoue the pound-for-pound king, confidently predicting a dominant victory over Sam Goodman in their upcoming clash. Teddy Atlas highlights that fans are always excited to see Inoue dominate, thanks to his reputation as the monster. Whether he's up against smaller or less tough opponents, the excitement around his dominance stays strong.
Yeah, you keep him active. Obviously, he's the monster. You know, you want to keep him out there. People want to see the monster. You know, it doesn't matter if Godzilla every once in a while, you know, chomps on somebody a little smaller, you know, and goes and bites the head off of Mothra's little brother. That's okay. It's all right. It's still Godzilla. We want to see Godzilla. We want to see the monster. We want to see you know, these top guys, they're heroes.
Gervonta Davis praised Naoya as one of the best in the world and said he'd love to fight him at a catchweight if possible. Davis mentioned it'd be a great matchup for the fans.
I like, what's the guy from Japan?
Inoue?
Yeah.
Do you foresee potentially at some day you guys meeting together, maybe at a catchweight, or maybe if he keeps going up in weight?
Probably. Yeah. That would be like a fun fight.
Dan Canobio was shocked by how someone so small can generate so much power in his punches and knock opponents down like it's nothing.
So little creates such power.
You hear the power, you don't just see it.
Todd DeBuff said Naoya Inoue is the best fighter in boxing, no doubt about it.
If you ask me who I think is the best fighter I've ever seen since I got in the sport, it's Inoue.
TJ Doheny talks about his fight with Inoue, saying Inoue's control of the ring and pressure made it hard for him to move. Inoue was really good at cutting off the ring and closing the distance, which made it tough for TJ.
It was only when I watched it back, and he was quite clever the way he was adding pressure and cutting off the ring, because I was circling around, and I don't mind boxing off the ropes or in the corner sometimes, but he was very good at just pressing and just getting out that tiny bit out of range and coming back in, you know, and I think that's where I was starting to struggle as the fight was going on.
TJ puts Inoue in the top 3 but doesn't pin down his exact rank, pointing out how competitive the division is. He says other fighters have strong cases too, so it's tough to say exactly where Inoue stands.
Where'd you put him in your pound-for-pound rankings?
Yeah, he's up in his top 3. You can't like solidify, because there's an argument for everybody there, so you can't like solidify a place, but he's in the top 3.
Ra'iz Aleem believes Inoue will easily beat Goodman, saying Goodman lacks the power to make Inoue respect him. He thinks Inoue will dominate.
No, honestly, you know, I think Inoue stops him within 8. You know, Sam, he's not a big puncher, you know, he's a solid dude, you know, he's not a bum, he's undefeated, but, you know, I don't see him going out there and really making Inoue do anything to respect him.
Billy Dibb says Inoue is on another level and that it's a huge opportunity for Goodman to prove himself.
Inoue is on another level, but Sam's very, very confident about what he's doing, and they've obviously taken a step aside at the moment to, you know, to focus on what they're doing now, but he's in line for that opportunity against Inoue. Obviously, he's the red hot ticket, so you know, if you can upset the apple cart and get that win, then you're on a big stage, aren't you? But obviously it's a massive opportunity for Sam. First and foremost, he has to get through this one.
Teddy Atlas praises Inoue for always facing top-tier opponents, unlike others who pick easy fights.
A little bit of a break. He deserves it. And as both champions said, he's fought everybody. He's fought all the top guys, all the dangerous guys. I remember when he was fighting Fulton. People thought he was going to lose to Fulton. There was a lot of people that made a good case for Fulton. Oh, he's a good counterpuncher. He's a real good defensive fighter. You know, he's really going to be risky for Inoue. And at the end of the day, Inoue gets rid of him too. So I have no problem. I do have a problem a lot of times with some of these guys. That, you know, that can cherry pick the way they cherry pick, because all they do is pick cherries. And they never pick a strawberry. They never get anything else. They only get cherries, but not Inoue.
Roy Jones Jr. calls Inoue a bad dude and one of the best pound for pound, but notes he lacks top-tier competition in his weight class. He says Inoue isn't well known in the US, but is the face of international boxing.
Brewing over there in the name of Inoue.
He just won.
That is a bad dude. You hear me? Say what you want. I know he way over there in Japan or whatever he is, but that is a bad dude.
Sam Goodman recalls moving closer to the ring during a fight in Japan, catching the monster's attention, who later became his future opponent. The unplanned encounter was significant, marking mutual recognition between them ahead of their anticipated fight.
I'm different, and I'm going to show why I'm different when I get the chance to face him.
Well, you did say to me, you go, I'm going over to Japan, I'm going to Tokyo, the Inoue fight, I'm going to be in there. Next minute I'm watching, you pop up on, he's called you up. That was completely unplanned for anyone playing at home. Run me through it.
Look, we started in about row 9 and we ended up in row 1. So, yeah, it was off the cuff. We had, you know, we were calling it the golden ticket. You know, it was like Willy in the Wonka factory. But so we had these passes that kind of got us at it anywhere, and we just got closer and closer and closer to the ring. Eventually, I could yell out at him, and he caught us in the ring. So. It's sort of how that came about, but yeah, it was nothing manufactured or planned before it. It was just, yeah, hustle our way to the front and see what we could do.
Sam Goodman highlights Naoya Inoue's consistent activity and willingness to take on challenges. While he is hopeful about finalizing their fight, Goodman clarifies that nothing has been officially confirmed yet.
It's all allegedly at the moment.
So allegedly, what's the story allegedly?
Allegedly, it's mate, I've got nothing for you, so no, I can't break anything here. So it's yeah, all rumours at the moment, nothing absolutely done. And look, I'm hoping that we can get something worked out, and it is the monster. So it's the biggest fight in boxing. It's the fight I want, and that's the one we're targeting.
Is there any reason why it wouldn't be Inoue?
Unless he doesn't want to fight, like that's the only way. And I don't see that from him. I think, you know, he's taken on every challenge there is in boxing. He's staying active as well. So look, I think we're gonna get a deal sorted and get a deal done. And look, it's all looking positive, but there's nothing official I can really say at the moment.
Jason Maloney expresses support for Sam Goodman in his upcoming fight, hoping for a strong performance. However, he acknowledges the tough challenge Goodman faces against Naoya Inoue, who dominates the 122-pound division.
Talks to Sam Goodman going in there next. What do you think of his chances?
Oh, look, you want to back your countryman and you hope he does well, but it's very hard to see anyone at 122 giving Inoue too much trouble. But yeah, mate, I'll back him and hope he does well in the fight.
Stephen Fulton advises Inoue to move up in weight as long as his body allows, but warns against pushing it too far. He highlights the risk of long-term health issues, like brain injuries, even with minimal trauma, and stresses the need to balance ambition with caution for Inoue's well-being.
Do you think Inoue should stay in his division, or should he go up?
I mean, I'm not sure. Keep climbing that ladder until you can't climb it no more. I mean, I feel like that's how I would do it. Or unless you feel like you're reaching that peak within your body, your age range, that you just want to, stop before, too much brain damage or mental, whatever the case may be. Because no matter if you get hit a lot or not, that still takes a toll on your body and your brain. So.
Former pro boxer Chris Algieri emphasizes Naoya Inoue's potential to become a global boxing star. He notes that Inoue is already a significant draw in Japan, stating he could fill up the Tokyo Dome, and if marketed correctly, these guys could fill arenas across multiple continents. I'm telling you, they could fill Dodger Stadium in LA, and if it is a trilogy, they could probably fill up at least the O2 Arena in England. Algieri believes that with the right promotion and marketing strategy, Inoue could emerge as a major pay-per-view star, underscoring the excitement surrounding his future matchups and the growing interest in his career. He suggests that Inoue's appeal transcends borders, making him a valuable asset in boxing's international market. Paulie Malignaggi calls for recognition of fighters like Inoue, who face tough opponents. He argues Inoue deserves a top pound-for-pound ranking for his courage, unlike Hollywood-style fighters who avoid risks. Malignaggi suggests creating two categories in boxing, one for true competitors like Inoue and another for those protecting their records, so real fighters get the credit they deserve.
When we talk about Eastern fighters, at least we talk about them fighting each other, and they're gonna fight each other. A lot of times when we talk about these Western stars, The conversation is who they're not fighting. Why the fights aren't getting made. Why you know, we talk about the possibilities and then we end up having to complain about, well, why is it not happening? Who's to blame? All this other stuff. You ever notice the Eastern guys, we always talk about the fight is going to happen. And the fight does happen. You know, the next time we do a ranking show on a pound for pound list, I'm going to make my Hollywood pound for pound list and I'm going to make the real fighters pound for pound list. Because a lot of times boxing fans get confused and intermix the two together. And then the fighters fighting everybody don't get enough credit because the fighters fighting everybody are going to knock each other off, take losses, and then not wind up on the pound for pound list. Either we get rid of pound for pound lists or we have to have a category A and a B.
Paulie Malignaggi points out that Eastern fighters are always ready for tough challenges. He says, "I've never heard an Eastern fighter try to weasel out of a fight by asking, how many tickets does this guy sell?" He's confident the Naoya Inoue fight will happen, adding, "The fight's gonna happen. We know the fight's going to happen." Even though the talks might seem too much, he thinks it's all worth it, telling fans to let it marinate and build as the fighters show their heart. Ahead of his fight with Inoue, Sam Goodman points out the irony in how critics viewed TJ Doheny. When Goodman beat Doheny, they called him old. But after Doheny faced Inoue, those same critics praised him as a worthy opponent, showing inconsistency in their judgments.
You beat TJ quite a while ago now.
Yeah, he's fought my leftovers, so it's, yeah, when I beat him, you know, I put him down, I made him run all around the ring after I did put him down. And
Barry Michael believes Sam Goodman is ready to face Inoue, one of the best pound-for-pound fighters. He praises Goodman's resilience, strong chin, and boxing intelligence, making him a tough contender. Michael argues that Goodman's toughness and strategy have earned him the chance to fight Inoue.
Come to fight, I looked at his knockout reel, and look, I don't think he's fought the opponents, the quality opponents that Sammy Goodman's fought. Sammy's beaten some quality world-class fighters, and he's proven that he's right up there with these guys. You know, to fight the monster, no, in a way, I think he is probably maybe the best pound fighter in the world. But, you know, Sam's proven that he's got such a great chin, such good boxing IQ, he's in with a chance. And at least he deserves the opportunity.
Goodman's promoter, George Rose, highlights the financial stakes of a potential fight with Inoue. Goodman is guaranteed $3 million, but a win could boost his earnings to $100 million, opening doors for bigger fights and rematches. A victory would elevate him to million-dollar man status, bringing major opportunities and financial rewards.
Seeing he's guaranteed $3 million against Inoue, $1 million, $2 million. Can you confirm how many million he is risking?
Well, a lot, a bloody lot. In the big scheme of things, it's probably 100 million. Let's be honest. When he beats Inoue, he then becomes the $1 million man. He becomes the big fighter. He becomes the guy who attracts those big purses and can draw a crowd. Not to mention a rematch against Inoue if it was to happen. You know, there's more than just the $1 million, $2 million, $3 million. There could be a hell of a lot more at risk, and it's all going on the line.
Paul Butler talks about the challenges Inoue might face in building his legacy as a legendary fighter. He notes that Inoue doesn't have many big-name rivals or high-profile opponents, which could hold him back from solidifying his place in boxing history. While there's been some tension in recent fights, Butler argues that without major rivalries, Inoue's chance to become an all-time great might be limited, since these rivalries often play a key role in a fighter's lasting legacy.
Do you think he might struggle a little bit legacy-wise because he hasn't got those dance partners, those kind of big names that he can beat to further enhance his legend?
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Possibly, yeah. He's got no real big rival out there, I think that was like a nice guy versus the bad guy today, wasn't it? And it wasn't really like touted as, wow, this is...
Luke Thomas says Naoya Inoue is one of the best boxers right now, up there with Bud Crawford and Alexander Usyk.
Hey everyone, time for technical difficulties. My name is Luke Thomas, and this is where I go over the weekends, or in this case, the past few days' best fights. All right, let's talk about it. Naoya Inoue, maybe the best boxer alive. It's either him or Bud Crawford or Alexander Usyk. You can have that debate, but any conversation about who the best boxer in the world is that doesn't include this guy is a fraudulent one.
Luke Thomas talks about Inoue's skills, saying his unpredictability with angles and patterns throws off opponents. He says Inoue mixes his jab and footwork to create openings. Thomas says Inoue's style is always changing, staying ahead by switching between defense and offense. Thomas also said Inoue's pattern confusion and punch doubling create openings for powerful strikes. Greg Hackett, reflecting on Inoue's fight with Luis Nery, says Inoue first adjusted to Nery's cautious style, then switched to a more aggressive approach and landed strong punches.
At first, I think he was looking to counter Nery. He was looking for Nery to shoot some shit at him, but Nery was like trying to watch him. He wasn't going out there just firing on him. So Inoue started early. He started firing. But I think he believed that because Nery wasn't throwing back every time, that he was going to get through one of those times and hit him with some hard shit. So if you look at that shot, when Inoue threw that uppercut, he lifted up in the air. He was high up in the air. His right hand was sitting up under his chin. He threw that shot. He was really trying to land that shot, that left uppercut. And it came from a crazy angle.
Hackett says Inoue's composure and strategy really paid off as the fight went on. By round 3, Inoue took control, using a more calculated style and landing short, sharp combos. Even though he didn't hurt Nery badly, his technique and mental adjustments helped him pull away. By rounds 5 and 6, his discipline led to another knockdown and a stoppage. Hackett also added, Inoue had to calm down, you know? He had to sharpen up, that's all it was, but it was a good fight. He looked real composed after the knockdown, took his time, didn't rush. Tim Bradley reflects on Inoue's last bout, noting that Inoue initially struggled against TJ Dohany's defense. However, around the 4th or 5th round, Inoue adjusted by using a pendulum bounce to disrupt Dohany's timing. This helped Inoue dart in and out with combinations, focusing on body shots that wore Dohany down and led to a knockout victory.
Where Inoue was marching forward, but he wasn't able to really land anything significant on him. You know, you had Dohany that was actually feinting, you know, moving to the side, you know, jabbing here, finishing combinations after Inoue would try to lunge in with a shot. He would try to finish and counter him. Just very savvy in there. And Inoue decided like, okay, well, I'm gonna actually try to bring you towards me. So Inoue will pin himself in the corner at times and say, come on, to try to change his game up a bit, you know, adjust during the fight. And then when it changed, I think it was around round 4, 5, it started to change. Inoue started to pendulum bounce. He started to bounce in and out. And that's what I think, that right there is what got Dohany out of his game.
Bradley comments on Inoue's performance, saying he methodically broke down Dohany's strategy, with parts of the fight feeling more like a sparring session. Bradley suggests Inoue took his time, studying Dohany and controlling the pace. Once Dohany started to slow down, Inoue seized the opportunity to finish him.
And there was times during the fight where I just felt like Inoue was taking his time, and it was almost like he was just like dissecting what this guy was doing. And it felt like a sparring session. It almost felt like he was carrying him, you know. And once again, Dohany slowed down, it was all she wrote, man.
All right, that's it for today. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Don't forget to turn on the bell so you don't miss any new content. Catch you in the next one.